Hi, Stephanie. Um, it's late at night, and it's been a while since I've tried to record anything, and I've never tried to record a phone on this screen, so who knows? But I thought I'd just give you a few hints. First of all, um, I'm not as good at this method as I could be. So there's a lot of things that I don't know, and there's probably a lot of things in this puzzle that I'm not aware of. But one of the things that you will see is that when you have two like this, the 4 6 4 6, it means that one of them is a 4 and one of them is a 6, and there are no other possibilities. And that is actually pretty strong. So that means that we can get a little bit more out of this situation before we have to go to other methods. And so let me see here. I can't play with the mouse, so I will do that. You'll notice that this one, the mouse is not working well. This one sweeps across here. Those can't be ones. These can't be ones because they're 4s or 6s. So that means these two are 1s right here. So, that's not much, but it's important to notice that sweeping action. There's a lot of it often. And that's not necessarily all. Let's take a look at possibly 8. Notice that since this cannot be an 8, this 8 sweeps through here, and it makes one of these two be an 8. And that is actually sort of important. And every time you change something like the 8s, then that means that it's possible that you might find other things that have changed. Who knows? Who knows what that means? But we could go back and check the 1s and the 2s and the 3s and try to find more places. But part that I'm not good at is looking for just regular things. But notice before we do that these 8s, there's implications. Like when you have a pair of 8s here and a pair of 8s here, that means this guy is not an 8, for instance, right here. And it's hard to notate that, but it's true anyway. And so when we start looking at things, we need to kind of be aware of what's going on. So one answer to your question is find a place where there's only one possibility, and you can think of it as in rows and columns. I've gotten lazy. I look for rows or columns that have only 3 unknowns. Like, I don't even know if there's any in here. I'm not sure there's any that have 3 unknowns. I thought there was, but I could be wrong. And then maybe 4 unknowns. Sometimes 4 unknowns is useful. 5 unknowns is often not very useful. And so let's take a look at what we have here, right in that square. So it can't be 1, it can't be 2, it can't be 3, can't be 4, can't be 5, can't be 6. Might be 7, can't be 8, can't be 9, so it's 7. But that's kind of a normal thing, so I think we could find it. Then let's move here. Since we got a 7, maybe that'll help us with 7s. It doesn't look like it helps us with 7s yet. And so maybe we could move here and see what's happening here. It can't be a 1. It could be a 2, can't be a 3, can't be a 4, can't be a 5, can't be a 6, can't be a 7, can't be an 8, can't be a 9, so it's a 2. And we should look at 2s, I guess, until we're blue in the face. But I don't think, we can put a 2 here and a 2 here because this is narrowed down, and we should. I want to get somewhere else, so I'm going to hold off on that, but we should do it right now. We should keep these as up to date as possible because we might get this kind of situation. And there's a couple other situations that are cool, like if, for instance, this is not relevant really, but if for instance, this was a 3 or this was a 3, then that means that this would be the 3, because this is, if you have a third digit in here, these two have to be 4s and 6s, and so that would narrow down the 3. There's other reasons why we should do that. Now let's look at this one. What do we know about that one? In this square here, we need, what do we need? Let me think about this. 1, 3, 6, 8. That's these 1, 3, 6, 8, and there's 1, 3, 8. So this guy right here is a 6. And I know that you could probably figure out the rest of these, and I'm sure that I should probably let you. But I wanted to mention something else. There's going to come a time, I think, in this puzzle a little later when you'll need to know that this is not an 8. And I think that's kind of important. Let me look and see if it's by any chance now. So let's look at this square. It's not a 1, it's not a 2, it could be a 3, it's not a 4, it's not a 5, it's not a 6, it's not a 7, it's not a 9, and it can't be an 8. It can't be an 8 because of those 8s. And so what does that mean? I think it means it's a 3 right there. I keep clicking on it with my mouse as if that's going to do something, but it is late at night, so who cares? Now, there's a bunch of things I like about this notation method, and one of them is, if you keep it up to date, like I did not with the missing 2s here, when you get something, it immediately shows you other things, and you don't really even have to think, and I like that. I like that a fair amount. And so now up here, that has to be a 3, but that means that this is the only 1 left, and that means this is the only 8 left. And I think probably 3s are locked now. Let me look. Yeah, 3s are locked. And you could continue on in this process, and I'm sure you could finish the puzzle. I don't think there's going to be too much that's too hard from here on out. So one other thing I want to mention is that this is not the way this method's supposed to go. The way this method's supposed to go is it's supposed to be done with pencil and paper. And you're supposed to have, like, there's many ways, I guess, to do this, but one way would be to have 2 different colors. And you put the kind of marks that we're putting, these double marks, you put them in one color. And then the second color is reserved for marks that you would normally do without this method. In other words, for instance, if you knew this was a 2-9 and you knew this was a 2-9, in this method of marking, you can't really keep track of that. You got to keep track of it in your head, which is hard. And with the 2 marks, the 2 different kinds of marks, this information is kind of the scaffolding that you lay the other more normal marking system on top of, and between the 2, it's really, really powerful. But I'm too lazy to put these on paper, and so what I do is I use this marking method I showed you, and then I look for the other things, and I look fairly hard unless I'm tired, in which case I'll do what I can do, and then often just break in and use not the guess and check, but just pick one. Very often it's good to pick something where you know 2, and you pick one and find out if it leads to a contradiction. It either will or won't, and you can run through the possibilities very quickly because you know how all these are related. And I don't really like doing it, but it is the backup plan. What I should be doing is putting it on pencil and paper and then using the 2 mark system, because it is kind of fun to to figure these things out. But anyway, nothing special is the answer to your actual question. It's just I wanted you to see some of the things you could do. And good night, sweetie.